gonna do the coconut. So excited. And I did get some pictures pulled aside for us so that I can show them really quickly. And where are you, coconut? Okay, here we go. We're gonna open it up. We're gonna talk just a little bit about coconuts. This is how they grow, in case you haven't had a chance to go to the beach lately. This is just a reminder. Here they go. They grow off of one of these shoots. You can see there's some other coconuts up here growing as well, but they grow in a bundle. And then they've got these little scraggly things hanging out. So if you want to paint your coconuts in a tree, that would be fabulous. You can do that as well. Let's see, I love this tree. It has like a nice little lines on it, and it's got the reeds hanging down. I think that's really exciting. I'm gonna make that small and go to the next picture and make this big. We're going to do a coconut. We're going to do the coconut. Let me extend my picture here. We're gonna do a coconut. We're gonna do the meat part of the coconut. And look at that. Look how thick it is. And look at some of the shadow in there. And catching up to me. And this is the last picture. And this is the one that I will keep up. Actually, no, I want to show you this one, which is the first picture. These are so cool. I love that I can show you this. Look at this picture. Look at this, the meaty part of this coconut. Look how thick it is. That's got to be a ½ an inch thick, and it's nice and white. And you think if it's really soft, it's probably bad. So if it's nice and hard, it's there's a little soft point to it, but not much. Then it's really good to eat. When you are in Brazil and you want a coconut, usually the coconuts in Brazil have a green skin, and I did not pull. That's that other one I pulled up. They have a green skin, and usually what they do is they just hack that. They just hack it with a really sharp hack knife. You know, the big long ones that they use to cut the reeds in the forest. Well, they just hack it and they make like a wedge out of it, and then you get it and you put a straw in it, and then you can drink the coconut milk. It's really yummy. They love to drink it. My kids loved it. They put it on ice. They put the coconut on ice, and they walk around with carts on the beach, and they cut it open for you, which is kind of neat. And I always, when I first moved there, I thought that was a little bit different, because I really always thought, and Chris, if you're here with us, give me a thumbs up if I'm correct. These coconuts have a nice brown, reedy outside, and they're really thick and meaty. And this is if you were to do your own coconut, you would cut it probably at the top and then pour the milk out and use the milk, yummy. But then when you cut it in half and open it like this one, you would probably take a quarter of it and put it on a, you cut it in half and then cut it again so that you can put it on a grater. And that's how you get your grated coconuts for those wonderful coconut pies that people make. Yeah. I've never made one, so if you've made one, please give me a little message here and tell me what you've made. I would love to know. I'd love to know. Okay, so I'm going to make this bigger. I see there's somebody behind me. It might be a little distracting. Don't worry. That's my dear friend Betsy. She's picking up a kit for tomorrow. We're having, or for Thursday night, we're having a card making class, and Betsy's picking up her kit. So yeah, that's her behind us. I'll tell her that she's live with us, and that'll be fun. Okay, so I'm seeing that, okay, so Betsy, did you find Tammy? I see you joined us, thank you. Did you happen to find, Emily, did you find the thumbs up button? I really appreciate you, you all giving me a thumbs up, letting me know you're there. It's really helpful to me, and it's encouraging. It makes me really want to keep going and keep doing this. So it's a lot of fun. I guess that's why I'm doing it, is because I think it's fun to do. And I don't know, it's just fun when you guys give me that feedback and let me know that you're there. Okay, I think I'm not gonna be able to make this small enough for y'all. I wanted to take a minute as well to talk about, okay, a double distraction because I'm seeing you guys live, but it's a couple minutes behind me. So I'm like, what? So this was a color chart that Emily just bought this pack of colors yesterday. And this is the sample of the color chart I wanted to show you. You can see I got some black paint on here, and that black paint will definitely not be a problem because Chris from Brazil suggested on one of our Monday live classes that you would take it and wrap your color chart in saran wrap. And it's brilliant because now look, my color chart is just fine. It just makes a lot of sense. Chris, if you're here, give me a thumbs up. I'd love to know if you made it today for our live. Paula, I'm glad you're here. Get your paints ready. We looked at the coconut. You've got your water. Everything's primed and ready to go. I wanted to also show these if you want to order these watercolor cards. They're cold press. They come, if you look here on the side, it'll say block. Let's see if I can get you to see that block. Yeah, it's a little bit blurry, but it says block on here. And what that means is that it's a block. It's all sealed all the way around. So it's a block. This corner is where you're going to open it and, oops, sorry. This corner is where you're going to open it and get it off to take the card off once you do it. But when you make your card on the block, it's kind of nice because it holds it firm. Or I did one a little bit ahead of time, or you can tape it to your thing. This is a postcard. I'm going to clean it up a little bit and go ahead and definitely mail it to somebody. That's the whole point of this, is do something, extend yourself, do something nice for somebody else. I love it. I think you probably can see yourself. You can see the delay as well. Okay, so here we go. I am going to, today we will use a candle. We haven't done that yet. I'm just wondering, this is too bright. We haven't done the candle yet because I wasn't sure if you all had them ready. I'm not using Frisk, so that should help. We don't need Frisk. And I think I can move this up and then get my little coconut in there. No, I think I can't. That's not going to work. Okay. Any case, so I want you to, we're going to draw this. If this doesn't work, if that's better to see, I liked having a little bit of a light on, but we're going to draw it. I'll draw it dark, but I really would like you to draw it not dark. It's that coconut part that's, we're going to draw a rounded face of the coconut. And I'm drawing dark, but I really recommend you not draw dark. And the reason why, and I'll show you, because I have an extra line here and I don't want it. So I'm going to erase it, but it will show a little bit, which is fine. But on your painting, you probably don't want it. This is more of an oval shape because we're looking at the coconut from the side view. You're going to need some of the bottom of the coconut here because it's resting on the bottom. And then you're going to want some on the top. That doesn't have to be a perfect shape because coconuts aren't perfectly shaped, are they? They definitely have an oblong. I would like to see this a little bit chunky here, kind of a chunked edge here and a chunked edge here, because that's the edge of the coconut. Okay, there's your coconut. Now we're going to talk about the colors. We're going to use a little bit of an indigo blue. And when I first did my sample, I wasn't crazy about the indigo blue. So I decided to start using a Payne's gray. And I know if you have this chart, you do have the gray right here. Payne's gray is a little more of a blue gray, but I like that effect. I think it's a really pretty gray. If you're going to buy a color, go ahead and buy the Payne's gray. And then you're going to use a little burnt sienna, and you're going to use some sepia. And I use the burnt sienna and sepia intermixed. So I'm going to take the sepia and mix a little bit of a green with it to get a little darker sepia. So I have two colors there. And then the final color would be this nice yellow ochre. Yellow ochre. And then we're just gonna have some fun. We're gonna, first we drew it. We drew it a little lopsided. I know if I'm doing it by myself and not doing it on the video, I would take a little more time, but at the same time, I really want you to just kind of play and have fun with this and not worry about getting stuck on the drawing part of it. In my lessons, we go into, when you do watercolor with me, we do 6 sessions, and I usually spend a little more time on the drawing and explaining how we are doing the drawing, and that works better for you. We spend a little more time, but for this one, I just want you to have some fun and draw. You see I've got some dark there. Maybe I'll be able to cover that up. That's that pencil. That's when you draw too hard with your pencil. But here we go with the wax. We're going to take this candle, and I just want to put it in a couple places on the meaty part of the coconut. Not all the way around, just a couple spots. And we're going to start using that indigo blue, but we really need it water, 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 really watery, watery. And to me, that's a little too blue. So I'm going to take some more water and pull that out and make a little mixture right here. I'm doing it on my paper so you can see it, but I think you'll probably do it on the side on your paints. Hi, Brenda. Hi, Tammy. Hi, Julian. So happy you joined us. We're going to do just the meaty part of the coconut. There's a lot of pencils showing. I'm going to show you how to save that or fix that later. So don't worry about that. If you have that kind of thing happening on your painting, don't worry about it. We'll fix it. Here we go. There's a little bit. And where the wax is, it's resisting totally this paint. So you can kind of see some white spots there. And then we're going to take that burnt sienna and just do a really light coat here. Real light coat. Just kind of block it in. I did the wet on dry. I didn't do wet on wet. And in your book, write your notes. We're going to do wet on dry first, because we will do wet on wet as well. And we left the highlights here. And what I'd like to do with that really watered down, we're going to just do a little bit inside, because that coconut is definitely darker inside. I think I'd like to, at this point, pull up the picture, and where do we go? Right here. Pull it over here. And show you how that meat part looks. Okay. I think I can make my screen. Can you see that? I'm pretty sure you can. I'll move my picture over a little bit. But see with my cursor, see how it's dark inside that? That's what we're trying to do right now. It's a shadow. And instead of using the indigo blue, I think I can move this over to you a little bit. Instead of using the indigo blue, I would like to use that Payne's gray. Really light Payne's gray. So grab some, and Emily, on your palette, you do have the gray. You have a gray here, so don't worry. And what I want you to think about is this line. Now, of course, on your drawings, you're not going to see this pencil line. You won't have these pencils. I just did it dark so you could see it. But this is the darkest part of the inside. If you look on here, I don't know if you can see my arrow. I hope you can. This is the darkest part. So it's pretty dark down in here. And you want to indicate that darkness, and it will dry lighter. It will definitely dry lighter. So now I'm going to just take some water. I want to leave this part clean, because that's going to be on this edge here. It's a little white. So then I'll drag some of this gray out a little bit, but really light. That's kind of fun. This is a technique when you're dragging the color. You have a lot of flexibility here. You can drag it. That's one way to get color out, or you can push it. You can push it in. If I want to push it closer to that inside edge, there you go. So now my background is dry, and I'm going to go ahead and start with a little bit of the the burnt sienna. I'm gonna add some, I like that darker brown too. We're gonna need some of that. Put that down here. But I'm gonna take that burnt sienna and I'm just gonna drop it in. And I would like it to move a little bit more. If you see it dropping like that, go ahead and take some water and drop the water on the shell. What'll happen is you'll have a really nice marbling type of an effect. And see the pencil? I'm gonna take that dark and go right up to the edge to try to cover that pencil a little bit. Again, mine's gonna have a little more pencil. You're not gonna see the top of this for mine. We will see the outside edge, but we're not gonna see the top of the outside here. So I'm just gonna pull it in. We will see some of the bottom. Let me use the cursor and show you, like down here, you see that bottom. When you're drawing, you'll see that bottom and you probably won't see much of the top depending on your angle. Mine's a little more flat than the picture here. So I do want to see some bottom. The theory is still the same. And looks like I got some wax right here where I wanted that, where my pencil is really heavy duty. So I think I'm going to go ahead and a little later fix that. Leave some light spaces. This is kind of cool. Most of the lessons that we've been doing like an undercoating, which this one we did an undercoating of the sepia, and leave some of that. It's not the white paper, it's that sepia that's there. Then you're going to take a little darker and go ahead and drop some in and let the darker, it's like a burnt umber, drop that in and let it, because remember we see those reeds and those lines, let it just move around a little bit. This is a quick little 30-minute ditty, so we won't get into a lot of detail. Again, if you want to take some classes with me, I do love to get into detail. We did a toucan last night. That was so fun. We were doing a bird lesson. I'm going to now the inside. I'd like to see a little more edge right here on the edge, and I want to hide my pencil. So I'm going to take a little stronger mixture and just touch it against the pencil line because I don't want it to go over it, but I do want it to kind of hide that pencil line. There you go for that area. And that's the inside. It does have a little curve. Well, I'm going to curve it a little bit. It's kind of fun because I can look up at the camera and see what it's looking like. It takes it like in a 3D mode. If you want to look at your painting, sometimes you just need to back away from it. If you want to look at it, take a picture of it. You can turn it backwards, and that'll help. Or put it in front of a mirror if you don't want to take a picture of it. You can put it in front of a mirror, and when you do that, you get to see it kind of what it looks like from somebody else's point of view or perspective. And honestly, simple, you can do more, you can go crazy with it. I'm going to let it just dry a little. I really want to do this dark edge that's all the way around. I really want to do that dark edge. So I'm going to just ever so lightly, I am using an 8. You can use a 6. I find with these, the 8 is a good one. 6 is my favorite. I love that bled in there. That's totally fine. That bleeding is just fine. So give me a thumbs up, or yeah, let me know if you can still hear me. I don't see any feedback, so I'm just wondering if you guys can still hear me. Yeah, I'm looking to see you're a couple of seconds behind me, so I'm kind of hoping that you'll hear me. And I'll keep going. So I'm going to carefully drag this line out. I do want it to be dry, dry, dry. So you know how we do wet on wet and then we do wet on dry? Well, this one is really dry. Dry as you can. Get your paint so that it's nice and solid. And there you go. So you see a nice firm outside edge. Okay, I see some thumbs up. Thank you, thank you. Let me know if you have any questions or how you think yours is looking. I'm gonna go ahead and get this a little darker, but really this is just fun. what I think is really fun about this is you're gonna do some teeny little, you can use a smaller brush if you want, but there's color already here. Just take your color, it's already in your coconut, take your color and go ahead and just do some really thin little, pull some the hairs out. You can even draw some hairs on there. It's a little wet in areas and drier in areas. Leave it like that. That's awesome. You really want that detail. You really like to have that detail. How many of you like to drink the coconut milk? I always felt like in Brazil it was kind of a waste that you just drank the milk and then threw the coconut part away. And all their food, they have a lot of food that's like moqueca, and they have beautiful food dishes that are made with coconut. So I'm kind of surprised that, you just drink it and throw it. But I mean, I guess they wouldn't use yours in their food. That would be kind of gross. But yeah, delicious. What's your favorite dish? Type in so I can see it. What's your favorite dish when you're using coconut? It'll take a minute for yours to show up, but Laura, I hope you're still here. Thank you for being here, first one. I really appreciate it. Here we go. I see this big gray from inside kind of bled out. That's totally fine. I kind of like that bleeding, but I'm going to go ahead and just scrub it a little bit. Remember we talked about how to dry off your brush and you can pick it up with your brush again. And you can see this is really white, showing up really nicely. That's not blending in because that's where that wax was. But let's see what I got over on this side. I would even recommend doing the wax after you did a color. That's probably what I should have done, but I don't mind. I like seeing some of the white. And I think if you notice on here, on the picture, look where my arrow is, there's some dark ridges in there as well. That's probably from the way they cut it. That big, I don't even know, I can't, machete or something. I can't even think of the name right now. When I'm doing these live things, I get kind of nervous, so I don't really think of all the right words to say. But I certainly hope you're enjoying this. And this is our 16th lesson. Can you imagine? We've been doing this for 16 lessons. The coconut. We're going to do Thursday, and then I'm going to start going to 1 time a week because we're starting to open up, and I'm going to start having some classes in the studio. So I will still continue the Mondays free classes, but I do need your email, and I need you to tell me you want me on your list. You want to be on my list so I can send you an invite. Those will be just similar to this, just a little more advanced than this is. And yeah, I'm going to continue that up. I'm excited that we're going to be able to start opening up and seeing each other again. I definitely am going to keep doing some Zooms. I love this Zoom, and I found that people from New York and people from Australia, oh, Jan, I'm not sure what you mean. Did I say brush X? Not brushes, not brush X, brushes. Did I say brushes? In any case, yeah, I'm going to keep going with the Zoom because I do like this international connection. Oh, let me brag a little bit. If Julian is still with us, he did a class on Saturday, beautiful class. And we had somebody from Colorado there, and we had somebody from California there. Our California student woke up really early just to join us for Julian's class. He does he's a Chinese expert in Chinese painting, and we painted frogs on a lily pad. And if you go to Art Yourself Studio, you will see the frogs on the lily pad. We posted, a few people have posted. Paula did a beautiful frog on lily pad, and she posted. So go to Art Yourself Studio, and I noticed there's like 300 to a couple thousand people have been watching these videos, but honestly, I have not seen pictures from everybody. So I don't want you to be shy. Don't worry. If they're not perfect, don't worry. That's the whole point. People like to see that you're the same as they are, and nobody wants to be embarrassed, but at the same time, we're all beginning, we're all learning, we're just having fun together. So please don't be embarrassed. Oh, okay. Oh gosh, Jan, that is so funny. So that spell check changes it, doesn't it? Okay, the brushes I have, So I don't have a name on this brush, and I don't recommend buying the really expensive ones first. Usually when people come to my studio and we're painting, I usually tell them to go to Blix and have them discuss the brushes with you, because they do a really good job of talking about the different brushes and what you should buy. On my website, artyourselfstudio.com, I will pull this right here for you, artyourselfstudio.com. On the website, you can see the materials that I order. I have materials that Julian uses in his class. I have watercolor materials. Megan Sawyer uses some of them when she's teaching in her studio. I have some Zentangle things that Pam uses. And you can go on there, and I have the brushes listed in there. And you will see the brushes that we use. And they're not very expensive, that you can buy them in a set. There are long ones, and then you can buy some short ones. I think I took those up north. Here's a couple short ones, but these are nice as well. Dugato, these are, and they're shorter. I think that these are listed as well. I just don't want you to spend a lot of money when you're first starting out. There are basic paint sets you can buy, but if you want to start investing in a more expensive brush, you can do that. And if you go and have somebody talk to you, or you can see on the website, that the most expensive paints, and then the moderate ones. When you go to Michael's, I would recommend not buying the don't buy the basic brand. If they have they usually have like a 1, 2, and 3, go ahead and buy the 3, the professional. And that's too expensive. Go ahead and buy the level 2. You're gonna want that. You're gonna want to have a better brush, better paint. I'm thinking and looking at the same time. It's a little bit crazy, but I would love, and makes me really encouraged and want to do more. I would love to see your work. I would love to see what you guys are painting. You need to please make sure that you show me. I think if you go to Art Yourself Studio, you can put it right into the comment. Not in this link here, but if you put it right on my page, there's a post section. You can post it, and then that is my reward. So if you want me to keep doing this, I need your pictures to show me what you did. And it's nice for the other people to see it as well. They like to see what everybody's doing as well. So be sure that you post on Art Yourself Studio, or if you post it on your own page, then just tag Art Yourself Studio in it, and I will see it, and I definitely will comment. If you're watching this and it's not live, don't worry, no worries. Just go ahead and comment, because I will see it. I'm going to be looking at it a little later, and I will see your comments as well. And then I'm going to take it down, because I really feel like if there's so many people watching it, but I'm not seeing your pictures, I'm not very rewarded. So I'm going to leave this up for a couple hours, and then I'm going to pop it down, and I hope to